Finally got the Astrocyte verse. Been waiting like a month to get this. We're going to be tearing through dimensions. Move to survive. Blink further and more frequently. Weapon readies quickly out of blink. Radar remains up. That's all you need to know.
Two for one. Opponents.
Yo, what is going on YouTube? Year 1 Blink here, back with another new video. Today's video, we have the Astrocyte verse. We're going to be tearing through dimensions, entering alternate realities, blinking through space and time, and we're going to be tearing and ripping the fabric of space-time in the whole universe. So, yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side of a black hole. The ideosystem contained within this helm transformed the wearer's head from flesh and or exoneurons to pure raw stuff of thought. Okay, for our intrinsic perk we have move to survive, blink further and more frequently, weapons ready quickly out of blink, radar remains up. So this helmet basically gives you the unnerved blink from Destiny Year 1. So, my gamer tag Year 1 Blink. We have a mobility enhancement mod and a restorative mod, which increases recovery and mobility. You can use mobility or recovery, it doesn't really matter. Then we have submachine gun targeting, improved target acquisition, accuracy, and aim down sight speed for submachine guns. I don't use submachine guns. Then we have hands-on, gain bonus super energy on melee kills. And for our last perk on this row, we have pump action, gain bonus super energy on shotgun kills. And then we have fusion rifle reserves and sword reserves. Not too crazy on the last perk trail, but we are still gonna wreck with this helmet, blink through space-time and alternate dimension. First of all, you do blink further. So the space between you and your opponent does not exist if you know how to use the helmet right. Calculate your distance, blink shotgun. So like with a further blink, sometimes you might have to reposition yourself because you might like blink over their head or behind them. So they'll be still looking the other way. You guys will see in the gameplay. Like right here, I'm gonna go after this guy, blink up in the air, blink again, you're dead. Like the perk says, you gotta move to survive. You ain't moving, you're dead. So always be ready to blink. Don't forget that you're using blink, because I see a lot of people using this helmet not using blink, you know, like what are they doing? You gotta be using blink. If you're not using it, you're not using the helmet right. So like when you're in pretty intense gunfights with more than a few guardians, you're gonna want to blink a lot, because your blink is gonna be so high that the enemy will lose track of you. Literally, they'll be like a Psyduck, confused, you know.
Oh, look, it's a ghost type. Use confusion. Psyduck.
Once you get the spacing and timing down for this new blink that you got, it's really gonna be hard to pin you down or stop you. Like this guy just got shotgunned out of his super because he couldn't see where I was because I was blinking. Calculate the distance of your blink, like I said, so you'll blink right in front of your enemy and you'll catch him off guard almost every time. So before this helmet came out, blink wasn't really good offensively. It was only really good defensively, because you could like blink away from like Nova bombs or other supers or anything like that, or like just enemies in general. But now, since the readying up speed for the blink is way faster and you blink farther and your radar is active, this puts blink in a crazy situation of it being top tier. See right here, as you guys can see, you can use it offensively now because you blink so far that he doesn't really see you on radar, and when they do see you on the radar, they're already like confused and looking the other way, so they're dead, as you guys can see in that last clip. It's crazy how much you can outplay your opponent. It's like so insane. But yeah, this helmet looks really cool. It's like you have a whole universe inside your head, or like a galaxy or something. It looks like void, dark matter. I don't know what it is. It just looks like a whole bunch of stars in your brain. It's a really cool exotic though. So on to the next part of the perk. So now that your radar does stay active, you always know where your enemy's at when you do blink. Like before, you had to always look at your actual gameplay to know where your enemy's at. But now you can look at your radar and not even look at the screen, and you can still wreck your enemy. So you got twice the vision indicators to know where your enemy's at, so you can take down your enemy and win that crucible game. It's a real throwback to those year 1 Destiny days, year 1 blink. I miss it so much. Oh my god. Now we have it back. Also, once you use this blink helmet, you never want to go back to any other exotic armor if you like blink, in my opinion, because like blink is so trash without this helmet. Like so basically after your second blink, you do have a quicker cooldown than the regular blink. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not how you use blink. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you use blink. What's this guy doing? What are you doing, bro? You're just sitting on the side of the map, get wrecked. Who else is over here? This guy over here. I'm gonna blink next to you. You're gonna pop a healing rift. Nah, you're dead. What? This guy thinks he's gonna run up and shotgun people. You're dead. We're just gonna teleport into outer space and go into another dimension and wreck all these guys. So yeah, as you guys can see, you got some really aggressive gameplay with this exotic if you really want to be aggressive. You don't have to play aggressive, you can play more defensively, but if you're with all the aggression, you're gonna literally just run around just aping people and wrecking them non-stop. I like to run around the map and blink a lot, so this helmet fits me perfect. My gamer tag's year 1 blink, so it's like Bungie is like, oh, you want year 1 blink? Well, we're just gonna make a helmet so that way you can just use it again. But yeah, the outplayed potential is really good, especially against super tryhards, because you could literally just blink behind people and they wouldn't even know what was going on, you know what I mean? Check this out. This guy is still throwing a grenade straight ahead of him. I'm already behind him, already blink shotgunning him. That just shows you how fast this exotic is. This is literally the fastest you can be because you can blink so often, so it increases all your movement speed. So yeah, you're just gonna be like Sonic out there. So now we're gonna go into some advanced tactics with Nova Warp and Blink. This is kind of cool because they did nerf Nova Warp, so it kind of brings it back to its previous state. Not all the way because they nerf a lot of stuff about Nova Warp, but Nova Warp is really stronger and better because you can honestly close the distances even more than what you could before with Nova Warp. Like, the distance that you're closing is crazy, as you guys can see in this gameplay. Not many people will be getting away from you. You're just going to be farming people with your super no matter what. I also feel like you blink even higher and farther when you're in Nova Warp, so always use blink in Nova Warp. You don't want to forget that you have it. You do have Warp too, and use that, but it just doesn't nearly go as far. What I recommend you do is to like blink into Nova Warp, pop Nova Warp, blink again, warp, keep warping until your cooldown with blink is back. You can honestly mix it up however you want. You could use blink once and then warp the rest of the time, or you could warp and then blink the rest of the time. It doesn't really matter. Or you could like go back and forth between them. The thing that's cool is that warp does have an unlimited cooldown, so you can use that whenever you want when you're in your super. Blink doesn't, but it does have a faster cooldown because you're using this helmet. So make sure you time your blinks right when you're warping, because you don't want to get caught without a blink, because your guy's just a sitting duck if you don't have blink. So a good tip is to remember all the cooldowns for blink. That way when you do use it, you're going to be able to close the distance and kill your opponent with ease. Alright, right here I'm going to show you some super outplay potential. Right here I'm going to be warping to the side, blink up in the air because I knew he was going to pop his super, blink up in the air again to get away from the enemies. Dude, you would have been dead if you didn't have that helmet. I'm sorry. You blink so high up in the air, as you guys can see, you just like Michael Jordan. As you guys can see, once you mix up blink and warp, they try to run from you. It's literally almost impossible for them to get away. You're really hard to shoot at. You're basically like a god when you're in this mode. So yeah, when you are using Nova Warp a lot, make sure you dodge, weave, whatever you need to do, because you just want to leave yourself as an open target to enemies to shoot at, you know what I mean? You always want to be in the action and get ready to go after all these enemies. As you guys can see, the warp and blinks can be mixed up at the end right there. Then I'm going to show you guys, so right here, you guys can see I'm like practicing with blink and warp. So the main goal right here is like try not to hit the ground too much, because the ground you move a lot slower. You want to be up in the air, blinking and warping through dimensions against people. As you guys can see, just make sure you mix it up however you want. You can do one warp, one blink, or you can do 2 warps, 1 blink, or 3 warps, 1 blink. Whatever you want to do, it's all up to you guys and how you want to use blink and warp. So there's a few advanced tips for you guys for using Nova Warp with blink and warp. Now we're on the last part, weapon readying speed. So we're gonna be testing this with the last word. As you guys can see, you do aim down sights a lot faster than you would normally if you didn't have this helmet. And sometimes you won't take out your weapon fast, but right here you guys can see the weapon. So yeah, the gun came out a lot faster that time. That's kind of weird. Like sometimes when you blink, it doesn't come out fast, but sometimes it does. I don't know about that, Bungie. Okay, so now we're going to be testing it out without the Astrocyte verse, so you guys can see how much slower it is. Look at that. It's so sluggish. You're literally like Gary the Snail. I'm going to let you guys see for yourself.
Few moments later.
So yeah, that's my favorite exotic in Destiny history, and you know why. It's way better than the one from Destiny 1, which only really increased your recovery I'm not too sure on what that one did. There's literally no downfall to this exotic. Reloading might be your downfall, but at the end of the day, this is a top tier exotic for Nova Warp, Nova Bomb. Look at this nasty blink. Any void class for the Warlock, you got to be using blink. Make sure you have that on, because it won't work if you're using glide. But yeah, for my review, honestly, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. This is a perfect exotic, top tier. So much survivability with this, kind of like it's like a one-eyed mask for like a Warlock, I would say. This exotic is like so fun. It's like a roller coaster ride. You're literally going through wormholes and black holes, teleporting to other dimensions, other realities. I don't even know what to call it. But you want to blink over someone's head, this exotic got you covered. You want to like poop on their head like a bird, this exotic got you covered. You want to wreck those annoying hunters and those broken titans. You can't forget about those guys. Hopefully these tips and tricks can help you guys wreck on the crucible, dominate, and that's all I gotta really say. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you do subscribe. youtube.com/year1blink. I'll leave you guys with the rest of the video and enjoy. Here we go.
A fire team that fights together stays together. Zone A captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone C lost. Now you're fighting with heart, Guardian.